Hello, and welcome to Cursed Content Club. I am your host, Chris Wolfhart. With me, as always, are my co-hosts Dan and Bob Video Games from GigaBoots.com.
We're founding a new group. We're called the Game Savers. We save video games from game stores when they're closed. It's kind of the same thing that the Game Chasers do, except for we're doing it while the stores are closed and we're not paying them.
Wait a second. I don't think that's saving things. I think that's something else.
And Dr. Aggro from Dr. Aggro.
I am video game chased.
That a real I'm Xbox Game Pass energy, too.
It's like, what spin-off of Ray Chase is that?
Dan, what are we watching? I don't know anything about it at all.
Okay.
Literally nothing.
So as people who watch the channel know, I'm a really big proponent of YouTubers getting to do their successful series and then going outside of the box to make a movie. So the Game Chasers is a group who's been doing a reality TV show for a very long time on YouTube, of course, where they go and they find games and they try to get good deals and they talk about the games and all sorts of stuff. And absolutely crazy finds have happened over the years to the point where their fan base a couple of times were like, bullshit, you did not find Little Samson for that price. That is impossible. Absolutely outrageous, really fun videos. And they actually used to be on the series back in RetroWare TV, was a website where you went to for retro game videos. The Video Game Years, which I edited, which is how I found the Game Chasers. They made, years ago on Indiegogo, they made an Indiegogo page to make their proper full motion picture called Adventures in Game Chasing. It was a very exciting film, and I backed it. And I have not watched it yet, because I believe the reason it deserves to be here has nothing to do with its quality, which I am uncertain of, having not even watched it. But based on the subgenre of YouTuber made a movie, it must be cursed, right? I need to know.
That's a fair assessment.
It sure hasn't gone well any of the times we were in Badassia.
This better be better than Nintendo Quest, Dan.
Oh, this is 100% going to be better than Nintendo Quest. Probably. There's no way.
If it's not where we actually have to do the cursed thing where Aggro gets to bring two movies.
Oh, no! Look, this is a movie. This isn't even a reality film. This is a film. You're about to watch a motion picture made by people who make reality film. And that's really exciting.
And scary.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. There are all sorts of cameos from retro YouTubers in this, like Joe from GameSack.
Okay, that's scary.
It should be, and I'm so excited as a fan of GameSack.
When was this made?
This came out in 2022. Weirdly enough, if I'm remembering correctly, as far as I know from following the production, they literally are using our type of equipment. I believe they use the Ursa Mini 4.6K, but they might have used like our literal exact cameras. And as I recall, and I could get this wrong, the main dude from Game Chasers taught himself color correction and color grading for this film, because I talked to him about, dude, that's like the number one problem with all these is that they don't look like movies. They just look like camcorder footage. VGN film. Anyway, so this is a fucking movie. I don't know what's in it. It might be a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm scared. I have not watched anything Game Chasers related, period. I might have seen like a second of a video you were watching.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm scared.
So you have no idea what's in here, and when you finish this journey, you have no idea what was over there on their YouTube channel.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating.
I guess we better go find out if this is as bad as fucking Nintendo Quest.
Let's find out if this is an adventure we should be game chasing.
And we're back. Adventures in Game Chasing might actually be the only good YouTuber-made movie. I'm as shocked as you.
Yeah, right?
Dan, what did you think of Adventures in Game Chasing?
I'm going to be brutally honest. This is a bit higher production than what was the name of that movie? Bad Bosses? There are a lot of 2010s comedies that don't try anywhere near as hard as this film. There are shots, things are color corrected and color graded. There's a script. In the script, they go places to do things. The plot keeps moving.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of characters who say more than one line. I am genuinely floored a YouTuber made this. And as you know, here on Cursed Content Club, we review these things on a scale of -5 to 5. So I'm going to have to give this the highest award I can of 5. It was a movie.
That's fair, Bob.
Yeah, it has a few blemishes here and there, but overall, this is like a movie, which is not what I expected at all.
Yeah, because you've seen the AVGN film.
Yeah, I've seen the AVGN film.
We've seen on Cursed Content Club all of the Channel Awesome films.
Right, and then not even the same dimension.
No. Not like those aren't films.
No, the AVGN one almost a film, but it's nowhere near as a film as this is.
It's so close to being like a fucking movie made like a movie, but then the camera choice is terrible. They don't have a colorist. Yeah. Special effects look bad enough to exit around the other end of it stopped being funny because it's that bad in some spots.
Mm-hmm. But they did the kaiju stuff, which was impressive.
And it was fun.
Yes. The rest of the movie feels like
the script in that is like holding your head underwater for an hour and a half.
But the Game Chaser movie, it gives me a completely different image of the Game Chasers and what their YouTube content might even be.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a 4 because there's still a few things where it felt like a Channel Austin movie for like 5 minutes.
They did that at the end as a treat.
Yes, and that's enough for me to be like, no, you're not. You can't be up there with Good Burger. Sorry.
Aggro.
Yeah, this production may be at the top of its category, but it's not really best in class. It's a movie. It's got things that happen. It's often incomprehensible. Characters will make decisions. Some characters shouldn't be in the movie at all. And then there's a Kickstarter backer mob scene.
If that's not what that is, then I don't know why it's in the movie.
Yeah,
right?
that's also how I feel. Yeah.
Watching this film is incredibly frustrating because it never just locks in and is all the way good. There's always one more weird, jarring thing happening. Mm-hmm. But it's not like, I wish you didn't do this. It's just, hey, guys, almost kind of cursed. -1.
Damn. I feel about the same as Bob. This was mostly pretty good. Decent 90s style movie. It's a shame about that Kickstarter mob scene. It Kickstarter sure compromises every single thing that it's used to make. 3.
This is a really high score for Cursed Content Club.
Right? We've seen
It
way
is.
worse.
Oh, God, have we ever?
We've seen many real Hollywood movies that were worse.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of the contenders for way worse come from the exact subgenre of this.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it look
In
even
fact,
better.
I need somebody to go check what we gave The Wizard. Does this beat The Wizard?
See, my brain at first thought Wizards instead of The Wizard. These are two different films. We did both,
We did.
I think. But I think Wizards was on Blessed Blondet, I think. Maybe not. No, it wasn't.
No, we
yeah,
recorded a
That
commentary
was
track
Cursed
for that
Content
movie.
Committee, yes, because that's where the shoes line comes from.
Right? Oh, man, that thing probably got like all 5s or something. That was insane.
Yeah, that movie was fucking awesome.
But did The Wizard beat 11? I'm not sure it did.
Yeah, in some ways, the movie The Wizard comes off as a YouTuber made a movie.
A little bit.
In some areas.
But we need to get to our segments. Aggro, who's the best character in Game Chasers, the adventures in game chasing?
The My Chemical Romance fan who haunts his own house with a shotgun.
Understandable.
He's like, I've got one scene and I've got this prop and this other prop and I'm going to swing for the fences. It is respectable, effective, and just wildly interesting.
That's fair. Dan.
I'm sorry, you two. I'm sorry. So Game Dave,
Oh, darn it.
you know how Bob was like, this really turned me around on what sort of content I could expect from the Game Chasers. I feel like Game Dave's performance here is so good it makes me go, I should go watch a Game Dave video.
Right?
Which I've attempted before.
Yeah.
And not thoroughly enjoyed, so I didn't really watch more after that. But now I'm like, I gotta know. Game Dave in this is a piece of human garbage.
Right, of course.
The movie probably should involve them Casey Jonesing his ass by throwing him in a trash compactor.
Yup.
This movie, if there is a shortcoming, that's just, I think we can all agree, objective.
Mm-hmm.
No one got blown up by a rocket.
Right.
No one's head was
Yeah.
snapped off.
It seems like they're going for a
Yeah.
PG, like...
Yeah, I wonder what. One second.
Yeah, wait, did
This
they
is a
get
real
actually-
ass film.
Yeah.
It should have a rating from the MPAA. Let me check. Maybe it doesn't.
Right, where it's a small release like this, they probably didn't have to.
Right. I don't see an MPAA rating.
Weird.
Yeah, I have no idea. But yeah, they should have definitely blown some motherfuckers up.
It should have become the Tim and Eric movie in a couple places, and people
Right.
just die.
Yeah, this movie has an 18 plus age rating on Amazon.
Weird?
I don't know why.
Do they curse more than I thought? I don't think so.
Not really. Maybe the word chode got them because they said that 1,700 times. I have no idea. I have no idea what that would be. Huh. But yeah, no, horrible, horrible violence should have been inflicted upon Game Dave. That's the only shortcoming of Game Dave's character in this. Aside from that, fun time.
Bob.
I actually really enjoyed the guy who owned the roller ring. The
Yeah.
what they call it? The Tesseract or something?
Tesseract, yeah.
Yeah. That guy's acting was on point. He scared a man off a cliff and was very happy about it. That guy should have died horribly after he fell down the cliff.
That's true. Yeah, I also enjoy this character. He's really good. His performance is really, really solid.
Yeah, I did not expect that.
I think the number one thing that surprises me about this movie, kind of like I was saying a little bit during my rating segment, is they have so many different characters and their performances are good. And
Yeah,
neither of those are expected things from a YouTuber movie.
It's like they hired actors or something.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Instead of just using whoever was near them.
Game Dave and his 8 less talented friends.
Yeah.
You have to defeat me in my 5 evil cameos.
I guess I gotta give it to Billy. He's huge.
You're not wrong.
Every scene in this nerd-coded movie is made funnier because he's just so gigantic.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah, because they don't write for that being the case ever.
Well, they write him
Yeah.
as depressed and a stick in the mud the whole time, so at no point is he going to be full of enough vigor to just want to go, I will kill you.
But it's so funny, like that he's built like a running back.
Yeah.
Like a power forward on a fucking football team. And it's so funny just be like, yeah, he's on this quest for the NES. Jay also is rather large, but not in like he's not like rectangle shaped like Billy is.
No.
Yeah. I really like the thought of Billy listening to this review and just being like, awesome, they noticed I'm buff. I like this review. It's pretty good. I too think it's funny that I didn't simply wrench their heads off.
Yeah, listen to that commentary track if you want a lot of like why did Billy, but is Billy the largest game chaser not simply kill them? But now we have to go to the worst character. Dan, who's the worst character?
This actually is hard. Shit. Now, the worst part is the extras at the end have no character names, and by which no way to refer to them as the worst, really.
No.
I could say there were those 2 nerds talking about how much pressure you'd have to exert to crush their necks. That's a shot, but no, I'm gonna stay away from that. Sorry to the actor for this. I think Roy just doesn't work.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like he's not intimidating enough. He's not like active enough. I mean, imagine, okay, so Roy's character should be played by a guy who's even more shredded than Billy. So he's hiding in a trunk and upset about all this shit. As he's just absolutely huge and could just kill anyone.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, like the way it's currently played, it's just weird. Something about it doesn't click for me. Something about him being like, for part of the movie, it sort of worked because you feel bad for him,
Right.
and then there's the turn at the end where you're supposed to hate him, and it didn't really land for me personally. There's something missing there. There's something missing with him.
I get it. Aggro.
I am going to have to give this one to, I don't think I ever caught his name, the purple ghost getter, because I had to pick one of them, and neither of them should have been in this movie.
So that's the amusing thing. The other one's Eric. I don't know the name of the one you're referring to either. Bob?
No, I also was like, yeah, there's Eric and question mark.
Yeah, they, and I guess by extension him, his only purpose was to take up space in this film. They didn't do anything. They just wasted time and made shots awkwardly wide. And it would have been a lot tighter of a movie if they just hadn't been there to like check off a list of people that needed to be in this movie.
It felt like they were there to set up lore for the ghosts and other things they might encounter, but none of that happened. So I don't know why they were there.
Yeah. God, I guess I gotta go. I'm gonna go with the villain, quote unquote, who is two different characters who are brothers.
Oh, okay.
But I will go with the second character who is the quote unquote primary antagonist of this movie, I guess, because he is in the most scenes.
The mob boss.
Yeah, the mob boss who wants the old roller rink the nerds are hang out in because he hid money in the wall. I think that's his fucking motivation.
Yeah, that's.
I don't think he even knew that was there, but maybe
He says he does in the end, but he's not great. Like maybe like if the joke was just he's the same actor as the character from the opening of the movie, and they referenced this by saying they're brothers. That was a little funny, but then he was there for like half an hour.
Yeah, I thought they were going to keep moving on through brothers. I thought that was going to be the bit. It is just weird when halfway through this movie it settles down and it's like, this is what I'm about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like and frankly, that whole climax scene could use like 15 fewer minutes.
Yeah, it's much longer than it needs to be.
You're not legally obligated to be 90 minutes, guys. You can go a little bit shorter.
No.
Look at Cats Don't Dance.
It's in 4K now.
now you cannot remember it in even more detail. Bob.
I have to give it to Eric. He's the center of every one of the worst jokes in this, basically. A bunch of fart jokes, a bunch of looking at his butt jokes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it just doesn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's the worst.
It didn't get to the point where I was like, okay, every time I see you, I'm upset. But it is not. Yeah, it's fart jokes are never ideal to have in your thing, unless you're aimed at 8-year-olds, which I don't think any movie that hinges on an NES can say it's aimed at 8-year-olds, other than The Wizard, a movie that came out 38 years ago.
70 years ago.
2010 was 45 years ago.
But I like new anime like Haruhi.
Best scene. I guess I'll start. I'm gonna go with the scene in the diner where Joel from Game Sack is there.
Joe.
Joe from Game Sack is there. I don't know why I thought it was Joel. Joe from Game Sack.
It's Joel from MST3K steps up. Hey, how's it going?
It is such a Joe character to be like, here's my weird nerd voice. I'm interrupting your meal to get indignant at you talking about how good you are at Duck Hunt. By the way, the Genesis is better than the NES.
Yeah.
Let me bring up blast processing.
True to the core.
I had to go with this scene because sadly, there aren't enough scenes in this movie that have murder. Please, Game Chasers, if you listen to this review, this podcast, and you make a sequel, please include more murder.
Please include more violent murders.
You can listen to our commentary track of your movie for all the points where we wanted someone to violently explode.
Please use these as feedback for the next film, and if you feel like you might hear of our voices in the back of your head calling for death, consider it.
Bob, what's the best scene?
We just made like a note of how the ghost getters
Yeah, the ghost getters
are not good characters in this movie.
Yeah.
Yet.
Uh-huh.
My favorite scene is probably the scene where he sees the gnomes and then goes off road and becomes a toy car.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's messed up.
That was one of my top candidates too, because it's just like, this is such a good bit. He's just having fucked up visions of portals and gnomes and shit. And
Right?
He kills them all, basically.
How good that portal looked was unnatural for the movie.
And then we go straight into the toy car.
Right. It was great.
It was.
Easily the best part of the movie.
Dan.
It's really hard for me to choose one scene. That was the most prominent one in my brain too, because there's so many good special effects and jokes and moments in it.
Mm-hmm.
And aside from that, and me ironically choosing the restaurant because Joe from GameSack's there, and that's really funny for him to be doing the worst acting in the movie intentionally. It's hard for me to choose exactly one, so I hate that I'm choosing this. Believe me.
Okay.
Even I entertain that I'm wrong here and that I may have just slipped on a better scene, but yo, remember that time they took away Eric while they were huddling to decide how to stop them from taking away Eric?
Oh my god.
That was pretty funny.
The scenes I swear we also filmed.
We had to have put that in a video, I swear to God.
How do the three of us, grown men all, stop this tiny guy and that guy with a crossbow bolt in his ass from physically accosting our friend?
Well, let's move, I don't know, 30 feet over here to talk about it while ignoring our friend we were just standing right next to. Because they had to move away from him. That's the most insane part of the scene.
Right. It makes literally no sense.
It makes zero fucking sense. So yeah, that's why it stands out in my brain. It's very funny, and I'm going to go insane until I find out what video we did that exact joke in.
Don't worry. I think I know. I think I remember.
Good.
Aggro.
I am going to have to go with the very beginning of the film, post time jump, when we have the space dogfight scene that goes on so long that I, with no previous knowledge of this film, genuinely start to believe there's a good chance this is the actual movie.
I also was starting to get tricked. I think they keyed it exactly the right length of time where you start getting tricked.
They did just enough of it to be like, maybe they actually were like, no, they wanted to be starfighters. I don't know what you thought they were game chasers for.
An hour into this very serious plot with these two goofy main characters, you're all losing your minds because it's real. And I'm like, what? This is the movie. I wanted to surprise you.
Now we got to go to worst scene. Bob, what's the worst scene?
The worst thing to me was actually the one that has Joe from GameStack, because there's also just a spider constantly there.
That's fair.
And then the second part of it where he chases him outside and still has the spider.
You know, there's a chance that's Joe Spider.
There's a good chance it is, yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was shown up in some of his skits. Because he has basically no ideas.
He has basically no ideas. That's not true. He has like 3, and he recycles them for all of eternity for ending skits.
I'm not convinced that spider was real.
I'm pretty sure that was a real tarantula, because a lot of them are defanged, so it'd be safe to let them crawl when you like that.
Yeah, and that's what the deal is.
Okay, yeah.
I'll go next. The Kickstarter mob scene, like it's so
Oh, yeah.
completely unlike anything else in the movie and so much more amateur.
Mm-hmm.
And again, violence could have helped. It could have helped.
Yeah, if you had the Kickstarter mob descend on them and nothing was left but blood and bones afterwards.
Yeah, like a
Yeah,
summon.
like if instead of doing goofy nerd antics and hitting these henchmen with like Nerf guns, they like shoved them through a wheat thresher.
Yeah.
Like I'm willing to tolerate really bad looking VFX if it's just like gore splatter
Yeah, you just
coming out of a log like a stump grinder.
all you have to do is just jump cut between a man screaming and blood spraying somewhere, who knows where, and we're golden.
Aggro.
Oh, it's just such a power gap between the Kickstarter mob and every other scene.
There really is.
I think, other than that, the two scenes that bothered me the most did so for the same reason. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the one post them getting fired, where they're sitting on the couch with the ghost getters, and we're establishing stuff and we're introducing characters, and we did that, and they're still talking, and nothing is happening or being introduced or explained, and we're still talking, and we didn't edit this scene down well enough, and this scene is still fucking happening while these guys are not accomplishing anything, and I'm starting to realize, oh no, this movie looks a lot better than it's gonna be.
Fair. Dan, take us home.
Yeah, sure. So I get to choose this, even though it's a different aspect of it, because it was completely glossed over by the other person who chose it. So there's a scene where Eric uses his underpants to wipe his ass. And in the parking lot of the diner, he's just holding his shit on underpants. And they're like, oh, this is terrible. Oh, this is horrible. Oh, God, why are you doing that? Oh, you're just holding it. It's terrible. And he explains all this stuff. And they're like, oh, my God, just throw it away. And then he throws it in the trunk of the vehicle.
Uh-huh.
Which is, why would you do that? Why would they let him do that? Because now the car will just smell like that.
Right.
And then it lands on the dude who's hiding in the trunk's face, and he just starts screaming. And we hold on the shot.
Yep.
As awful as that whole sequence is, and it is, that scream was immaculate. Like, I believed his panic and revulsion.
So let's see. Spiders, shit upon things, reverse shot, exposition introduction scenes that drag on too long, and the Kickstarter extras show up to yell and run in a parking lot and do unchoreographed violence. Yeah, we should just take it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, just take the scalpel, cut it out.
Those are some scenes where you could have had more unreasonable levels of violence. Have you considered what would happen if Billy, the larger game chaser, took a rolling pin to someone's arm and just went up and down?
There's that part where the villain like is saying how he's going to destroy his NES and then cut off his limbs, but he's within the reach of his arms. Like, you just need to have a scene where like you have like a complete shot of the guy's face, like the top and bottom of his head are cut off. You're just focusing on his face, and he's like going off and raining. And then the camera pulls out, and his head has been turned 180 degrees, and he just falls down. You know what? I'd be a little bit more okay with that Kickstarter mob scene if they had been extras in the previous Tesseract scenes, the bar scenes.
Yeah.
Instead of just coming out of
the woods.
Yeah. But does anybody have any final statements on Adventures in Game Chasing?
Yeah, this still manages to easily be the best YouTuber made movie.
Yep.
I don't even think it's close.
Yeah, it clears pretty easy.
Right.
I haven't seen the AVGN one, and I haven't seen the Ashens one.
Ashens made a movie?
Yeah, it's called Ashens and the Quest for the Game Child.
Whoa.
That sounds
I
as
think
fake.
he made 2.
That sounds as fake as me telling Bob there's a YouTuber named Game Dave.
Okay, he made 2. There are 2 Ashens movies. There's Ashens and the Quest for the Game Child, and Ashens and the Polybius Heist.
Oh, Polybius. Okay. All right. Hey, what's stopping James Rolfe from making another movie?
I don't know.
Doesn't fucking want to.
I assume his experience with the first one was so bad he doesn't want to try again?
Yeah, probably.
He should make some kind of movie.
Yeah, no, he clearly
doesn't have
wants
to
to
be an
make
AVGN
fucking
movie.
movies.
Mm-hmm.
Make a goddamn
Make a
movie.
fucking-
Even Doug
make a
Walker
horror
made a movie
movie.
that wasn't Channel Awesome, technically.
Did he?
Yes, and I suggest you stop asking questions because if I have
will
to look at it again.
I need no more. I need no more information.
The executive producers for this GigaBoots video are Esme, Ely Broyles, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, A Reminder for Symphony of War, Cooper Tank, Very Best Plot, Iconic Bane, and Rado. Thank you very much to our executive producers. And also these guys. If you want to become an executive producer or normal patron, head on over to patreon.com/gigaboots today.